Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Facing the Music with Terry Oldfield. My name is John Valdivia, producer at ithesound.com. This series, curated from candid conversations, will introduce a return to the mystery and wonder of existence, as well as our necessity to confront ourselves. We shall also feature selected pieces from Terry's extensive musical anthology. In this episode, Terry discusses the holographic nature of existence, opening up the possibility of realities that exist beyond our realm. Welcome to Facing the Music.
Well, I just remember a moment a few years ago when Saraya and I were visiting our friend who runs it's not an ashram, it's a kind of community which it overflows into all the villages in Kerala in South India. And he just said this phrase which went really deep. He said, we are in a deep hypnotic trance in a holographic universe. Although I'd known this in a sort of intellectual way, those words went into a place of click switching, where a switch was flicked. And I went completely empty and felt it in a way that you don't feel when you just understand the answer to a problem, And then again, as we were leaving, he came and whispered in my ear, he said, "So enjoy it." Robert Monroe, and he talks about endless levels of the game, And he has a friend, he calls him the inspec, which is an inhuman species. He's never been human. And he meets with them, and this guy is just totally unlimited. He's able to help Robert create scenarios. What if? And he said, "You ready?" And he goes, click. The reality is suddenly there. And click, you're back. These realities, this world that we live in here is literally a click. One of the clicks. It's so incredible when you start to forget about the limitations. Just get out of the norm. This is a click. So enjoy it. Enjoy it. And a little mischievous grin he gave me. While you're here, enjoy it, yeah? As soon as you go beyond fear, you start to go up in intensity. And the more intense the experience, the more education is happening with this whole left brain thing. To begin with, it thinks it's a thing. Playing the game at one level is one thing, where you are taken in by the illusion of it being real. And playing the game knowing it's not real, and yet being able to be in the world but not of it. It adds a totally new dimension to it. You are no longer afraid. You no longer put up your defense system at every sign of danger. You welcome the danger in. Yeah, come on. And that way you get through the levels and you climb up to level 3 maybe. You get more speed or more power. It is a game. It is definitely a game. And being stuck at level 1 maybe have to happen many, many times. You know, as soon as you start talking about transcendent stuff, you know, it's not part of this polar dependent world. You're transcending. Why do we want to transcend when we've got the opportunity to have fun? We signed up for a game, all right, and we suddenly say, I want to transcend this game. But to go deeper into the game, to wake up in the game to the fact that you have a lot more freedom than you were told when you came in. And you can start to interface with the there, which is the transcendent levels of the game. Because the game is on many, many levels, and this is just one. If we're only focused on the one, it's a game. It's all right. As soon as you are willing to walk on the tightropes in the game, you lay yourself open to a totally different way of experiencing it. But if you're not willing to take those risks, then you'll dread the straight and narrow paths, and you'll have your family, have your children, you'll get your job, you'll go and get your car, and you'll end up with a big fat belly, and you'll probably end up in a couch potato chair watching Simpsons. That's the end game of that particular level. You can be 90 years old and climbing trees. You can be 1800 years old and, you know, still looking 30 at the ultimate level. When you start to believe, this is what they call faith in Christianity. Because faith requires lack of proof. That's just the beginning of knowing for sure, is when you start to have faith that this is so. And also requires a total dissatisfaction with, surely there must be more than this, than the couch and Simpsons. For God's sake, I've done that, been there. And Robert Munro talks about this in his last book. His inspect friend says to him, he says, what do you want to do now, Rob? Is there anything I can help you with? And he says, yeah, I'd be really interested to see or to meet the most awake and advanced person alive today on Earth. And the inspector says, are you sure you want to do this? I mean, it might not be what you expect. And he says, yeah, I'd like to. So he goes, click. And suddenly he's standing in a room. And there's a guy with a T-shirt and a pair of jeans sitting at a desk doing something on a computer. And before Robert says anything, he says, wow, your friend found me. That's amazing. I don't usually let people find me. And he turned around, he's just an ordinary looking bloke. He said, what do you want to know? Robert says, wow, I expected, at least orange robes or something, or a halo. He said, no, I've just I just decided to stick around. I've actually been in this particular incarnation for 1800 years, but I just decided I'd stick around. I keep changing my job, keep changing my identity, I quite like it here. And of course I can go into the there, whenever I want, and I have lots of friends in both, but I keep my body going. I've worked out how to do that with the atomic structure and everything, None of it is real, So. I do believe now that there are many, many on this planet who, they don't die anymore. They've found a way of playing the game. If they choose, it's no big deal if I can let go of this one if I want. But no, I think I'd keep it for another 100 years or so. He's not super enlightened. There's just a guy who's realised that this particular reality is just a click, and there's lots of other clicks, and I choose to be here because I quite like it, and I just keep changing my job and changing my identity. Yeah, I've had a few fast cars and, nice houses, but, I just live normally now. It's just, don't have a lot of needs for all that. It's really interesting, isn't it? You know how I came across his books. It was because I recognised in the first few pages the same experience I'd been having. That's what freaked him out to begin with. Thought he had a brain tumour. But it's a vibration that paralyses the body. And he says, all you got to do when that happens is just roll out of it. The vibrations are what creates the gateway to freedom. I remember my first meditation efforts in my early 20s. And every time that void started to appear, I would just go into panic. I would just, I've got to get back, oh my God. It was a huge effort. And that was the same when I started having this out-of-body stuff, the dreaming stuff. I would get this paralysis, which was vibration of the body. It was leading to paralysis. I couldn't move. And I would struggle to get back. I can remember that moment when I just sort of let it, okay, I give up. And nothing happened. I was really disappointed. It was this very first experience of having no thinking going on, you see. And that's at very early stages stuff. And I spend most of my time now with no thinking going on. It mustn't bother me a bit. If you come across Robert Monroe's books, ignore the first two. He's had to invent a new language to describe interaction. It takes a while to get the hang of it because it transcends the norm. You just have to talk in a different way about it. But that's not denying the validity of this. In fact, rubber stamping it, saying the cues for this game are huge. You're very lucky to have a human experience. You're very, very fortunate. And a lot of people take what they can get. No legs in Calcutta, fine, I'll take it. If that's all that's on offer at the moment, I'll take it. because it's a simulation, but it's a much sought after simulation. Yeah, I mean, I landed pretty well this time. Am I coming back? I don't know.
Thank you for listening to Facing the Music. We want to extend our gratitude for your company today. For enriching context and further insight into our series, do visit ithesound.com/Terry. We have provided all the pertinent information in the description. For those interested in delving deeper into Terry's compelling journey, his biography, Only Now, is readily available on all major online bookstores. It is an intimate and insightful account of a life dedicated to music and spiritual awakening. Lastly, please visit terryoldfield.com to stay up to date with Terry's latest endeavors. Once again, thank you for your time. This is John Valdivia from ithesound.com.